foundation for how we do business is right in our initials, W-E. We. Everything we do is a partnership. We understand solving the many complex challenges growers face every day takes teamwork. And when we succeed, we do it together. That's the power of we. The foundation.
Whether you're pregnant or planning ahead, you and your baby deserve a healthy start. We offer a wide range of services such as advocacy, health screenings and education, hair coordination and person safety, participant empowerment, referral services, and fatherhood support. To learn more about Great Plains Healthy Start, visit Great Plains Tribal Health Board or call one of our 5 service areas today. Brought to you by Great Plains Healthy Start, so that the people may live.
Advertising can be a struggle. Where to spend your money? Are you reaching the right audience? If you are looking for an effective method that reaches a large fan base at once, then here is your spot with Live Ticket TV. With over 65 schools in the state of South Dakota, we can help you find the right market. Plus, you can work with me, Heath, and a portion of all sales made go right back to the school. Get a hold of me today and let's get started in helping build your brand with Live Ticket TV.
Classic Corner Convenience Store in Madison is ready to fuel you and your vehicle up before the big game. Stop in for hot stuff and other high-quality foods and their highest quality service. At Classic Corner, they pride themselves on their commitment to the local communities that support them. They offer free delivery, and each month they pick a charity to help raise donations. Stop in today for a tasty meal and a smile. Classic Corner Convenience Store is a proud sponsor of Madison area youth athletics and activities.
Every farm is unique, but all farmers have something in common: the desire to maximize their land and improve it for the next generation. You need a cooperative that offers peace of mind. AgTegra Cooperative is an ag partner that shares your values and is part of your community. From agronomy and grain operations to energy and feed, AgTegra will link your farm to the future. AgTegra Cooperative. Strong, stable, dependable. Every farm is...
This is what matters. This is beyond X's and O's. This is the difference mutual respect makes. This is what character looks like. This is what defines us in South Dakota. This is sportsmanship. School sports. It's not the outcome that matters most, but the way the games are played. This message presented by the South Dakota High School Activities Association and the South Dakota Interscholastic Athletic Administrators Association.
Welcome to Madison, South Dakota. We get you set for another year of the DAC-12 NEC Clash, the 7th year that we have done this Clash, and certainly for the Vermillion Tanagers, it has been interesting throughout the years, coming into this Clash, if you will. 5-1 overall, the only loss coming a few years ago against the Millbank Bulldogs. But for the Vermillion Tanagers, it certainly has been an interesting journey when it comes to this DAC-12 NEC Clash. And we're going to get more into it, just not about the competition that they've played so far throughout the Clash, but also the journey they've experienced as a team and the difficulties that they have gone through. Ryan is our producer for this afternoon. Good afternoon, I'm Heath Nimke. We are currently in game number, or I should say 4 seed, if you will, of Lennox taking on Tispazina right now. Tispazina is actually a little bit of a push here in the second and third quarter to get back into this one a little bit. Looks like still does have a big lead, 51-35. Also big thanks in part to Porter Enid, who came back Thursday against actually the team we're going to see this afternoon, the Parkston Trojans. Porter Enid, of course, has been dealing with a shoulder injury all season long. He came back against Parkston, had himself a big game, and just like this, the Deck 12 NEC Clash has already put up 19 points. Now you see Porter Enid and the Lennox Orioles coming up later on this season. As we also mentioned, it is a rematch from about a month ago when that two teams met during the regular season. Vermillion in Parkston getting the victory. And it's set to be certainly a good one, maybe one of the closest matchups that we have seen so far in the DAC 12 NEC Clash. So we'll be talking more about this matchup. Let's get into the DAC 12 NEC Clash. Historically, it has been dominated by the DAC 12, and so far this season, that has rung true. As so far in action already, the 11 seed Tri-Valley beat Redfield 87-42. The 10 seed matchup, which was supposed to be done some time ago, is actually still currently going on. There was a very nasty injury in that game that did delay it for quite some time. Last checked in, it was a 19-point lead for Elk Point Jefferson over Sisseton, but over in the auxiliary gym, they're running quite a bit behind time. Here in the main gym, we are still certainly on time. In the 6th seed, the 11 o'clock matchup, we saw a T area beat Clark Willow Lake 61-35. Also in the 5 seed matchup, Del Rapids beat Millbank 56-48 in a close one. And as we just mentioned, the 4 seed right now 56-39. It is Lennox that leads it over to Tispazina. This matchup is certainly going to be a good one that we expect. As we mentioned, you go back a few weeks ago where Vermillion was able to get the win against the Parkston Trojans. But for Vermillion, not only has it been a tough go at this DAC 12, you talk about players missing the bus, you talk about players forgetting uniforms, forgetting shoes, and there's always something that goes with the Vermillion Tanagers and this DAC 12 NEC Clash of something left behind in Vermillion. And then just off of that, it's been off to a slow start for the DAC 12 NEC Clash for Vermillion Tanagers. Now this is a mid-afternoon game. The guys have gotten to shoot around at 10 o'clock this morning. They've hit the bus. They're certainly expected to be ready to go. So on the flip side of that, for the Vermillion Tanagers, this is certainly the toughest part of their season so far, and it's proved to be deadly at this moment. And they've lost 3 straight coming into this. Again, dating back to basically, well, a week ago at this time where Vermillion was taking on #1 Sioux Falls Christian, an 81-50 loss. Then on Monday taking on Pine Ridge, losing that one 72-64. And then as we saw in Del Rapids, 65-61. And then as we know, Parkston #1 right now in Region 5, and they've had a phenomenal season so far. This DAC 12 NEC matches today, and on the flip side, on Monday, back in action, we get at home to take on another DAC 12 foe, the Madison Bulldogs. A quick look at the Parkston Trojans, as we mentioned, when we were going into that game back on January the 5th, the Parkston Trojans had only lost 1 game up to that point against Wall. 3-point loss. Otherwise, it has been a phenomenal season for the Parkston Trojans. As we know, they grabbed that 3 seed coming into this matchup, and they really haven't lost since the Vermillion Tanagers. The only loss does come for them on Thursday against this Lennox group that's currently on the court, an 84-50 loss. And we're going to hear about it coming up in our pregame interview. Head coach Craig Bruning of the Parkston Trojans, he said, hey, you know what? This is a team of the Lennox Orioles that lives and dies by the 3. They were able to hit it, including Musser goes off for 7 threes in that ball game, and that's a big reason why Lennox was able to get such a dominating victory, if you will, or at least on the scoreboard over the Parkston Trojans, 84-50. Otherwise, as we mentioned, Parkston Trojans come in #1 right now with this Region 5A. That put a little bit of space in between them and the rest of the group. In fact, we'll talk about this later coming up, but also 4-0 within Region 5. It's been impressive so far what the Parkston Trojans have been able to do against competition so far this season. I want to give a shout out to our Vermillion and Parkston families, as both schools are part of the Live Ticket TV family. I want to give a thank you to our Parkston sponsors, including Core Cares, Wilbur Ellis, and MDS Manufacturing. We're going to take our first timeout break. When we come back, we'll get you set a little bit more for this matchup. We'll also take a look at the Vermillion girls for just a quick moment before we get to head coach Craig Bruni and also head coach Jay Drake. That is on the way next here on Live TV.
In times like these, it's good to know there's a place where people know who you are, no matter how long you've been gone. A place where the smells of home cooking are still in the air, where a simple wave warms your heart, and sharing stories is just a way of life. It's good to be home. Agraria Insurance Company, protecting what's important in life. Contact your local Agraria Insurance Company agent.
The innocence of youth. Is there anything any better? But soon they'll be in high school and facing all the same challenges you faced. How to make friends, how to fit in, how to be cool. We want our children to have everything they'll need to live fulfilling and productive lives. Make sure the kids in your family are among the more than 57,000 participants here in South Dakota who take part in high school sports or activities.
Whether you're pregnant or planning ahead, you and your baby deserve a healthy start. We offer a wide range of services such as advocacy, health screenings and education, care coordination and car seat safety, participant empowerment, referral services, and fatherhood support. To learn more about Great Plains Healthy Start, visit greatplainstravelhealth.org or call one of our 5 service areas. Brought to you by Great Plains Healthy Start, so that the people may live.
Welcome back here to Madison, South Dakota for the DAC-12 NEC Clash, the 7th annual DAC-12 NEC Clash. It's great to have you along here on Live Ticket TV, along with the Parkston Trojans Live. We have ourselves a good matchup coming up of the number 3 seeds in this clash. Of course, as we know, the Parkston Trojans not a part of the Rick Tekla a few years ago stepped out of this tournament not to play, and it's just someone needed to fill in. Parkston Trojans have been that fill-in spot for the past few years. Now, I did not ask head coach Jay Drake what's going to happen next year. Of course, these conferences have both worked out nicely, that they do have 11 teams, but as we know, in the DAC-12, if you will, Beersford left a few years ago, but coming up next year, Team Area Titans will be gone as they make that transition to AA to playing in ESD, so someone's going to have to fill in there. We'll see who maybe might be coming up in the next couple of years, but of course this has been a fun tradition over the years and mostly dominated by the DAC-12. And of course, coming up next week, it will be the girls' side of things. We are expected to find out the matchups coming up tomorrow, if you will. Those of you who release on Sunday, and that's because there is plenty of action still going on for DAC-12 NEC teams. In fact, if you will, a little mini DAC-12 NEC matchup is coming up later on this evening at Mount Marty University, as the Vermillion girls are in action against the Millbank Bulldogs in the Sacred Classic. Now, of course, that has been moved from Augustana University over to Mount Marty University. We'll have all the coverage coming up here on Live Ticket TV. Paul Marshall will have you covered, and Paul Marshall has been busy this afternoon with 2 other games, a part of his afternoon before he makes his transition over to the Yankees. Thank Cole Large. And again, that's going to be a good matchup for the Vermillion girls coming in 8-3. They got a dominating victory, if you will, over Del Rapids, the other team allowing Del Rapids to score 12 points. Millbank Bulldogs are 9-4 overall, so really grab some points to win that game. And you'll have all the coverage coming up with Cole Large later on this evening. And for the Vermillion girls, by the way, if you don't remember all the shuffling around, they will be off on Monday before Vermillion is back home on the girls' side on Tuesday to take on Beersford. You may remember that is just going to be the single game because usually it's a double header, but the doubleheader has been replaced when the Vermillion boys played Beersford in the Holiday Classic back in December. So just the single game coming up on Tuesday. Otherwise, the Vermillion girls take on one of the top teams. They're going to be inside the top 5, maybe even top 3. Sioux Falls Christian, 12-1, and that game will really determine on who has a chance at winning the DAC 12 conference, if you will. Just to put it into perspective, if Vermillion were to beat Sioux Falls Christian, it would be 3 different teams tied in first with 1 loss in the DAC 12, and maybe T could lose another one for Vermillion, and Sioux Falls Christian would not really be expected to lose another game. Of course, the Vermillion girls are John Brooks at the beginning of the season. It's all a part of winning the DAC 12 conference once again this year. And he still has that opportunity with that huge game that is coming up on Thursday. Again, that is in Sioux Falls. He will have all the coverage right here on Live Ticket TV. All right, once again, if you're just tuning in, this match. To our coaches' interviews to talk more about the Parkston Trojans, who are 9-3 overall. Catch up with head coach Craig Bruning to talk about the success of his team and how they keep on breeding the success heading into the latter part of their season. That is on the way next here on Live Ticket TV.
Hey farmers, don't have the time or the means to haul your corn to market? Contact Derek or Phil at New Gen Energy. They are receiving corn 6 days a week, and every Saturday from 8 a.m. to 3 p.m. is farmers only haul day. Located in Marion, South Dakota, New Gen Energy also sells distillers and corn oil. Call 605-648-2100 for all your corn needs, and check out their website at newgenmarion.com. That's NUGENMarion.com.
For over 130 years, Bank West has earned long-term customer relationships by continually adapting to current customer needs while never losing touch with its South Dakota roots. With all our branches and our corporate offices firmly rooted in South Dakota, you can count on Bank West for solutions and service backed by hometown values. We've been there and we'll be there. Bank West. Convenient, connected, committed. Learn more at bankwest-sd.bank. Member FDIC.
Inside the main gym as we get you set for the number 3 matchup. That 12 NEC Clash head coach Craig Bruning of the Parkston Trojans. Quick little update on the game right now that is in action that's currently going on. If you do not see it, it's 70-45 as Livingston has pulled away with 5:18 remaining in the fourth quarter. And final games so far, Tri-Valley beat Redfield 87-42. That was the 11 seed matchup. Now, there was a severe injury and 18 January that delayed that game by quite some time. And we do have finally a final there. In the 10 seed Elk Point Jefferson beat Sisseton 62-47. In other action, the 6 seed T area beat Clark Little Lake 61-35, and also the 5 seed Del Rapids beat Millbank 46-48. Let's be honest, it's just Lennox is going to beat Tispacina. No way to sugarcoat it here. So in this DAC 12 NEC, that is 5-0. And the NEC is looking for their first win from unlikely hero, if you will. Team that's not even the NEC, the Parkston Trojans. Speaking of the Parkston Trojans, 9-3 overall, 4-0 in the region. They've had a lot of success so far this season. How is it all come about? Well, I talked with head coach Ray Bruni yesterday and talked about the success of this squad and how they've been going throughout the season and the expectations they want to finish, and of course this matchup, this rematchup, if you will, back on January 5th, if you will, 22 days ago. What's changed in 3 weeks? Here he is on our pregame show. It's head coach of the Parkston Trojans, Ray Bruni. It's like, I gotta talk about do you need anything? No, I don't.
House Custom Ag Services in Chester is your local. family owned and operated resource for all things ag. Our team specializes in customizing spraying needs for each individual customer and farmland, including
Can I have your attention, please? The player of the game tonight with 27 points from Lennox, Porter 90.
drive and kick back out, and a whistle is called. It will go against the Parkston Trojans, as the Trojans have now picked up their second personal of the quarter. The foul is also called that time on Brody Betcher. So Brody will pick up his first personal. And a couple more substitutions as Brody comes out. And James Decker, along with Will Jadozzi, check back into the ball game. Also, Bruning came out for the Parkston Trojans. Jay Drake has gone to his bench for the first time this evening, as well as Cerny is back after he was not available Thursday against Del Rapids. By the way, score inside for Trey Hansen. He now has 6 points the ball game. Opposite way, Carter Hansen looked like he blocked it, but he did not do so as he made contact. And it will be Carter Hansen who picks up his first personal. And the third team foul now. It is a shooting foul that will go against Carter Hansen, and Will Jadozzi will shoot 2. Again, Will averages 19 points a ball game, has 2 so far here in this first quarter. First free throw is nothing but nylon, and he's got 3. Again, the Parkston Trojans 9-3 overall, 4-0 within the Region 5. They have stepped in the last 4 years in this NEC DAC-12 clash. And second free throw is good. And so far, the DAC-12 NEC clash, the DAC-12 has gotten 5 victories out of 5 games. 12-6, under 3 remaining in quarter number 1. It's Robinson to drive, kick out. Cerny thought about shooting the 3, does not do so. Gives it back to Robinson. Jab, now makes his move with the left hand, back out to Carter Hansen, catch and shoot 3, good! And Carter Hansen now has 9 points in quarter number 1. We have seen him explode in the opening quarter for points so far this season. His success rate, though, hasn't necessarily tailed along. Coach Rivers is now jumping up and down for the Vermillion Tanagers, telling them to get their arms up. Inside the lane, jumper is off the mark for Deckert. 15-6, the Tanagers up by 9. Handoff, pump fake, as Carter Hansen thought about shooting the 3 once again, decides not to, goes to Trey. He swings over to Cerny, to Robinson. He'll shoot the 3. This one is off the mark. No one underneath the hoop to rebound for the Vermillion Tanagers. 2:02 first quarter. Borman quickly the opposite way, forces up a shot, and a man maker is taken by Skogsberg, as the Trojans have now picked up their third. And Luke Borman has picked up his first personal. 15-6, exactly 2 minutes remaining here in this first quarter, as it will be Trey Hansen who will bring it into the front court. Trey Hansen so far here in the ball game with 2 points. Over to Carter Hansen, 3-pointer off the front of the iron. And once again, Vermillion shooting the 3, but no one underneath the hoop to rebound. Back out, they work with the Jervik. Over to the far wing, to the top with Peyton Cohn. To Jervik, back to the top. This one with Decker. He'll shoot the NBA 3. This one's off the mark and rebounded by Skogsberg. As Skogsberg brings it into the front court, he puts up a quick 3-pointer. Another one that's off the mark. Vermillion has now missed their last 3 3-pointers. Ball goes out of bounds over in the near coffin corner, and they eventually say it was last touched by the Vermillion Tanagers. And now they're going to get a whistle for a foul instead, it looks like. And they're saying on player number 4, which Vermillion does not have a player number 4. Correction, the official says player number 4 on white, and then he says, my bad, on blue. So the foul now will be on Jervik, picking up his first personal, the 4th team foul, and in the end, Vermillion will get the basketball back. Driving in, Carter Hansen with the left hand. He can't finish it. Can't believe it himself. He's still got 9 points here in this first quarter. Jervik has it, to the top they go. Again, the Trojans trailing by 9, 15-6, 1:07 at first quarter. It's Luke Borman over to Bruning. Back to Borman. He'll shoot the 3. This one was an air ball for Borman. Quickly the opposite way, here comes Landon Cerny, and as he made his move, Bruning's going to make contact, and that will now be his second personal, 5th team foul, so that will give bonus to Landon Cerny. Again, Landon did not play, and now head coach Craig Bruning is going to use another 30-second timeout here in this first quarter. We'll be back in 30 seconds here on Live Ticket TV and Madison Live.
28% or 32% fertilizer and starter fertilizer. Haas also offers farm chemical sales and custom applications from pre-emerge through corn tassel. Call Jeff today, 605-270-0162 to get a custom quote specific to your needs. Haas Custom Ag Services is a proud sponsor of Chester Youth Activities. Haas Custom Ag.
The foundation for how we do business is right in our initials, W-E. We. Everything we do is a partnership. We understand solving the many complex challenges growers face every day.
It's 15-6, 54 seconds remain in quarter number 1. Landon Cerny will shoot a free throw, and it's the first bench points for the Vermillion Tanagers. Landon Cerny will shoot a second one. This one is off the mark. So Vermillion struggles the free throw line so far, haven't necessarily been there. They are 3 of 4 here in this opening quarter. And now a reach and foul from behind against Robinson. Robinson will pick up his first personal and the 4th team foul. Borman will inbound right in front of the Vermillion bench. We'll see another quick substitution as Mason Jervik, the freshman guard, will check in as James Decker will come out. And now Jervik will have it. Get it over. Jervik trying to find someone, goes to his brother. Trying to find some space to Borman. Rises up. No, it looked like you want to make a pass, and then Trey Hansen just saves it. There was no change of possession. So there's 13 seconds on the shot clock, and now the ball is tipped out of bounds by Trey Hansen. So kind of a chaotic little sequence there. Again, possession has never changed. So 22 seconds remaining in this first quarter. 12 seconds on the shot clock for the Parkston Trojans, who find themselves down by double digits here at the moment. Catch and shoot 3 for Cone. This one is good. Peyton has his first points of the game, and it's 16-9. Trey Hansen makes the pass over to the corner. To the top they go with Robinson. He'll rise up and shoot the 3. This one is in and out. Vermillion has missed their last 4 3-pointers, but still have a lead, 16-9, as we go to quarter number 2. We're back here in just a moment on Live Ticket TV and Madison Streaming.
It takes teamwork. And when we succeed, we do it together. That's the power of we. The foundation.
Do you have a pest problem? Got bats, ants, termites? Family owned and operated, Olson's Pest Technicians have had over 50 years experience taking care of pest problems in places across South Dakota, Nebraska, and Iowa. Utilizing brilliant methods such as Centricon bait stations for termites and Vicane treatment for bed bugs. There's no pest too tough for Olson's Pest Technicians. If you have pest problems, call 800-KILL-BUGS. Do you have a...
Whether you're pregnant or planning ahead, you and your baby deserve a healthy start. We offer a wide range of services such as advocacy, health screenings and education, care coordination and car seat safety, participant empowerment, referral services, and fatherhood support. To learn more about Great Plains Healthy Start, visit greatplainstravelhealth.org or call one of our 5 service areas today. Brought to you by Great Plains Healthy Start, so that the people may live.
Back here at Madison High School, it's 16-9 in the DAC-12 NEC Clash, the matchup of the 3 seeds between the Vermillion Tanagers and the Parkston Trojans. Vermillion got out to an 8-0 run in the first 3 minutes to start this opening stanza. The Parkston Trojans have battled back and trail by 7 here at the moment. 3-pointer from Trey Hansen. Vermillion has now missed their last 5 3-point attempts, and this is given a chance for the Parkston Trojans to get back into it. Of course, that is what Vermillion really has done this season, is live and die by the 3, and the Trojans right now are letting them shoot the opportunities. They just have not been able to make them, the Vermillion Tanagers, that is. A quick jumper from Borman. His shot is off the mark. Luke finished with 2 points in quarter number 1. Driving in, Carter Hansen back out to Bryson Skogsberg. Let Jervik jump and then misses the 3-pointer. So up to 6 if you're keeping track at home. 16-9. Borman drives. The scoop layup is off the mark. That one maybe a little bit of a wild shot, just trying to make something happen. Quickly the opposite way. Carter Hansen just going to attack. Scoop layup by him does fall. And with that, Carter Hansen now hits double figures. He's got 11 points in the ball game. Quickly, Borman the opposite way, and a charge taken. The second one that has gone against Luke Borman as he picks up now his second personal, the first of the quarter. 18-9 as Borman will have to come out, and Bryson Bruning, who's also picked up 2 personals, will have to check back in. The coach's son. 18-9, 6:50, second quarter. It's Trey Hansen, kicks it over to Skogsberg, pump fakes the 3, the drive, the kick over to Rohrig, to the corner they go. Back to the top now with Trey Hansen, the move, the jumper, this one connects. A little bit of a circus shot there for Trey Hansen, but gets it to go. He has now 4 points in the ball game. It's 20-9. Rohrig gets the steal away, and quickly Rohrig into the front court. Trey Hansen over to Bryson Skogsberg. The drive by Skogsberg off the glass, and a foul is called that will go against the Parkston Trojans. So the Trojans have now picked up a total of 7 fouls, if you will, in this ball game. Or no, I apologize. They're going to call it on Skogsberg instead, as the Parkston Trojan will be able to take the charge. So a foul against Vermillion. Both teams have picked up a team foul in this second quarter. 20-9, and now we're going to get an over and back, as they say Bruning was not across the timeline when he got the basketball. Cole Tweeten will check in for the first time here in just a moment, as Bryson Skogsberg with 2 personal will have to come out of the ball game. 20-9, 6:10, second quarter. Continued to be a revolving door for the Parkston Trojans and their substitutions. Parkston Trojans a lot different than the Vermillion Tanagers. Will go about 9-10 deep into their bench, whereas Vermillion 2 at the most, and that's as far as they'll go. Otherwise, a majority of the time, the starting 5 will stay out there. A turnover now in the front court for the Vermillion Tanagers on a bad Carter Hansen pass. Driving in at the elbow, jumper, hand was hit, nothing called, but James Decker, who did not score in the first quarter, gets his first points of the ball game, 20-11. The Trojans down by 9, haven't gone away yet, and Vermillion hasn't been able to put them away, if you will. At the wing, it's Carter Hansen to Trey, back to Carter, back to Trey, to Robinson. Make the pass to Carter Hansen. They want to go inside to the big man Cole Tweet, and the jumper is off the mark for him. Here come the Trojans, again trailing by 9. Jervik has it. The freshman kicks to freshman as Bruning makes his move over Jervik, 3-pointer. This one was an air ball. Second time we've seen a 3-point air ball for the Trojans. Quickly, the opposite way, the drive. This one too strong, loose basketball. And it's going to be picked up by Trey Hansen. The officials let it play on and tell everyone to get up. Over the corner, 3-pointer. This one hits off the front of the iron. It's Bruning quickly the opposite way. A 2-on-2. Spin in the lane, and they're going to call a travel on it every single time. Even if it's not a travel, they are calling it all season long. And it'd be another timeout for head coach Jay Drake. 20-11, 4:58, second quarter. We're back in just a moment here on Live Ticket TV. Advertising can be a struggle. Where to spend your money? Are you reaching the right audience? If you are looking for an effective method that reaches a large fan base at once, then here is your spot with Live Ticket TV. With over 65 schools in the state of South Dakota, we can help you find the right market. Plus, you can work with me, Heath, and a portion of all sales made go right back to the school. Get a hold of me today, and let's get started in helping build your brand with Live Ticket TV. Back here at the DAC-12 NEC Clash, it's the matchup of the number 3 seeds, the Vermillion Tanagers and the Parkston Trojans, and also a rematch from January 5th, where Vermillion got a 59-51 victory over Parkston in Parkston. These two teams have matched up throughout the regular season now for the past 4 years, and they just happen to draw each other in the DAC-12 NEC Clash. When this clash originally started, there was no possibility of rematches, but it turned out to be too tough to deal with, and things got really off balance. They said it is possible, including Del Rapids and Millbank, who played on Monday, played also in this tournament earlier, with Del Rapids winning by 8. 3-pointer for Trey Hansen, and now Vermillion is 1 of 7 in their last 7 attempts. Trey Hansen with 7 points in the ball game, and Vermillion up by 12, 23-11. The Tanagers bring the press. The ball is tipped by Trey Hansen. So Jervik, the freshman, will have to go chase it down in the backcourt. Back here in the front court, it's Decker to Bruning. Bruning dribbling between the legs. The freshman looking fancy out there. Back out three-pointer. This one is off the heel of the iron for the Trojans. Oh, no. Carter Hansen is saying he got tripped up by the Trojans. I don't know if he did or if he just took a spill between his own legs. Nonetheless, a pass from his brother will never hit him when he's fallen down to the ground, and it goes out of bounds, and it'll give it right back to the Trojans as Vermillion tried the fast break the opposite way. Again, the Trojans have had nothing but success in breaking the press. Head coach Jay Drake just continues to go to it. Down underneath, off the glass, won't fall, as it was a good look there for a Leichner, but could not connect. Trey Hansen quickly over to Rohrig. Rohrig on the near wing. They're going to swing it over to the far side. Inside to the big man, Cole Tweeten to the top. Another look for Trey Hansen. Three-pointer is off the heel of the iron. Again, Vermillion leads it by 12. Parkston can't seem to get back into it. Vermillion can't seem to put the Trojans away. And now we're going to get a whistle 40 feet from the hoop. It will be against the Vermillion Tanagers and Trey Hansen as he now picks up his second personal and the second team foul. Of course, for the Vermillion Tanagers, they do not have a lot deep to go to the bench, so a lot of these starters need to stay out of foul trouble, if you will. And now Jervik and Leichner will come out of the ball game. So it makes way for Will Jadozzi, who checks back in along with Borman, who's picked up 2 personal fouls here in the ball game. Speaking of Borman, trying to get some space. The floater, this one was tipped on its way through by the big man Cole Tweeten. 3:05 remaining before we go to half. It's been a low-scoring affair. Carter Hansen, the floater inside. Looks like he tried to use the glass there, and it did not work. And again, Vermillion, an open opportunity that time, just can't cash it in. It's with the Trojans inside. Jadozzi trying to back his way in. Jumper, oh my goodness, just can't get the roll. And the Trojans are just smacking themselves, asking what does it take at this moment for a bucket to fall. It's Robinson, had it knocked out of his hands. He's looking around like he wanted something to call. Good no call there by the officials. Simply goes out of bounds, and Vermillion will still have it. Cerny and Skogsberg will check back in for the Tanagers. Rohrig and Trey Hansen will come out. Borman is also out as the big Jervik will check back in. Braden, the senior guard, and a talented running back as well for the Parkston Trojans, who brought home that 9AA title this past fall. And now a reach-in foul after a turnover for the Vermillion Tanagers. The foul will go against Cole Tweeten, picking up his first personal. It's also the third team foul against the Vermillion Tanagers. Only one foul called against the Parkston Trojans here in this second quarter. 23-11, 2:20. Jervik gets it down to Jadozzi, squares up and shoots and knocks it down. Will Jadozzi now has 6 points here in the ball game. It's 23-13, has now bringing it into the front court. Are the Vermillion Tanagers leading it still by double digits. And it's going to be another turnover. It's quickly an advantage to Jervik, drives in, uses the left hand too strong. Ball is loose, and in the end, the Tanagers are going to come away with it. There's almost Cole Tweeten just cherry picking at the halfway mark. Over to Skogsberg. Skogsberg to the top with Carter Hansen. To Cerny, straight away Carter Hansen. Good! Carter Hansen, a big three-pointer, giving him now 14 points here in this first half, and Vermillion has doubled up the Trojans with under 90 seconds remaining in this first half. Jadozzi to Jervik, back to Jadozzi. Turnaround jumper, this one is off the mark. He just hit that shot a moment ago. Skogsberg quickly up to Carter Hansen. Carter over to a wide-open Robinson. He'll square up and shoot the three, and this one is off the front of the iron. If Vermillion could just consistently hit the three, even at a 40% clip, this one would be wide open right now. And now a turnover by the Trojans as they try to get it over to Decker. And it goes out of bounds. Again, so far here in the DAC-12 NEC Clash, it has been all the DAC-12 as they are 5-0. Now over in the auxiliary gym, Webster area and West Central are playing. That game, of course, is well behind scheduled as we saw a nasty injury earlier in the day happen in the auxiliary gym, and it just kind of fell behind time there. Another missed three-pointer for the Vermillion Tanagers. We will get you a score update on that West Central Webster area game. That's the matchup of the 9 seeds. We'll get to that coming up here at halftime. Moving around the perimeter, it's with the Parkston Trojans. Jervik to Jervik at the wing. Want to go back over to Peyton. Back to Jervik with 6 seconds. Hand off to Deckert. Pull up jumper. Good. James Deckert, 4 points in the quarter. 26-15. 15 seconds remaining before halftime. It hasn't necessarily looked good at times, but if you're the Vermillion Tanagers, you are happy taking a double-digit lead into halftime. Skogsberg, the NBA 3. This one is off the mark. Cole Tweeton just let the ball go right by him. It was a loose basketball, and then just simply went out of bounds. Everyone's staring around. It's 0.7 left before we go to halftime, so a simple inbound. We do that, and we go to halftime. A little bit of a weird sequence there in the final, well, if you will, 15 seconds. 26-15. The Vermillion Tanagers lead it by 11. We'll step aside when we come back. We'll recap the first half scoring and also take a look at scores not only from the DAC-12 NEC Clash, but also get you set for the Vermillion fans as the girls basketball team is in action in the Sacred Hoops Classic. That is all coming up here at halftime on Live Ticket TV.
Classic Corner Convenience Store in Madison is ready to fuel you and your vehicle up before the big game. Stop in for hot stuff and other high-quality foods and their highest quality service. At Classic Corner, they pride themselves on their commitment to the local communities that support them. They offer free delivery, and each month they pick a charity to help raise donations. Stop in today for a tasty meal and a smile. Classic Corner Convenience Store is a proud sponsor of Madison area youth athletics and activities.
Every farm is unique, but all farmers have something in common: the desire to maximize their land and improve it for the next generation. You need a cooperative that offers peace of mind. AgTegra Cooperative is an ag partner that shares your values and is part of your community. From agronomy and grain operations to energy and feed, AgTegra will link your farm to the future. AgTegra Cooperative. Strong, stable, dependable. Every farm is...
This is what matters. This is beyond X's and O's. This is the difference mutual respect makes. This is what character looks like. This is what defines us in South Dakota. This is sportsmanship. School sports. It's not the outcome that matters most, but the way the games are played. This message presented by the South Dakota High School Activities Association and the South Dakota Interscholastic Athletic Administrators Association.
In times like these, it's good to know there's a place where people know who you are, no matter how long you've been gone. A place where the smells of home cooking are still in the air, where a simple wave warms your heart, and sharing stories is just a way of life. It's good to be home. Agraria Insurance Company, protecting what's important in life. Contact your local Agraria Insurance Company agent.
The innocence of youth. Is there anything any better? But soon they'll be in high school and facing all the same challenges you faced. How to make friends, how to fit in, how to be cool. We want our children to have everything they'll need to live fulfilling and productive lives. Make sure the kids in your family are among the more than 57,000 participants here in South Dakota who take part in high school sports or activities.
Back here at Madison High School. It's great to have you along here on Live Ticket TV. And also, part of Madison Streaming. Have to thank Assistant Athletic Director for Al, as always, hooking us up here in Madison. Always appreciate his help and everything he does. And of course, not only putting on these tournaments, but helping us media guys as well. Can't say enough thank you to Madison for hosting this DAC-12 NEC Clash once again. Well, for the Parkston Trojans, it was all about bounce back. It was a tough Thursday evening against a Lennox team that just couldn't seem to miss from the three-point line. Positive for the Parkston Trojans, Vermillion really isn't shooting the three-point that well. On the flip side of that, the Parkston Trojans just really haven't found any offense either. Only 15 points as we head to halftime. Vermillion at 26, and you talk about for the Vermillion Tanagers, you love the scoring that we've seen so far, but it's been two guys once again. We saw the Hanson boys combine for 41 out of the 61 in an overtime loss on Thursday. So far, the Hanson boys have scored 21 out of the 26 for the Vermillion Tanagers. Let's take a look at our first half scoring as we'll begin with the visitors, the Parkston Trojans, as leading the way is Will Jadozi again, who averages 19 points. A ball game has 6 so far. James Deckert with 4 points, all coming in the second quarter. Peyton Cohn has a three-pointer, and Luke Borman, who did not score in the second quarter, has 2 points. Bryson Bruning as well has picked up 2 personal fouls and has not scored either. In fact, Luke Borman and also Bryson Bruning both in foul trouble, if you will. As we move to the second half, maybe not as much, but both have picked up 2 personal fouls. As I mentioned, it's the Hanson boys with 21 combined points. The older brother is leading the younger brother, if you will. 14 points for Carter Hanson there in that first half. 7 points for Trey Hanson and the boys. 2 points apiece for Zone Robinson and Bryson Skogsberg. Zoe did not score in the second quarter. Bryson sat a lot of the second quarter because he picked up 2 fouls. Otherwise, off the bench, Landon Cerny hit a free throw in that first quarter as he went 1 of 2 from the charity stripe. Otherwise, that is the only scoring so far. Again, this is the DAC-12 NEC Clash. We're going to take a quick timeout break. When we come back, we'll recap everything that's happened so far and tell you about the other games that are currently going on. That is on the way next here on Live Ticket TV and Madison Streaming.
Whether you're pregnant or planning ahead, you and your baby deserve a healthy start. We offer a wide range of services such as advocacy, health screenings and education, care coordination and car seat safety, participant empowerment, referral services, and fatherhood support. To learn more about Great Plains Healthy Start, visit greatplainstravelhealth.org or call one of our 5 service areas today. Brought to you by Great Plains Healthy Start, so that the people may live.
Hey farmers, don't have the time or the means to haul your corn to market? Contact Derek or Phil at New Gen Energy. They are receiving corn 6 days a week, and every Saturday from 8 a.m. to 3 p.m. is Farmers Only Haul Day. Located in Marion, South Dakota, New Gen Energy also sells distillers and corn oil. Call 605-648-2100 for all your corn needs, and check out their website at newgenmarion.com. That's NUGEN
For over 130 years, Bank West has earned long-term customer relationships by continually adapting to current customer needs while never losing touch with its South Dakota roots. With all our branches and our corporate offices firmly rooted in South Dakota, you can count on Bank West for solutions and service backed by hometown values. We've been there and we'll be there. Bank West. Convenient, connected, committed. Learn more at bankwest-sd.bank. Member FDIC.
It's the DAC-12 NEC Clash here on Live Ticket TV and also on Madison Streaming. It's a matchup of the 3 seeds currently going on. I hope you are having yourself a wonderful afternoon, as it has been a day of, well, the DAC-12 teams. In fact, let's get to it quickly here. It hasn't officially gone final. West Central is going to beat Webster area. Last check, 72-38 there. So right now, these games are going to go to 6-0, the DAC-12 over the NEC. Game the 8 seed, if you will, Dual and Canton are supposed to tip off at 4:15 over in the auxiliary gym. I know they are actually running not as far behind as what they were earlier, as maybe that West Central Webster area game with that running clock has kind of caught things up a little bit. But if you're kind of paying attention a little bit back at home and wondering what happened, we did see a bad knee injury to a player for Sisseton in that 10 matchup between Elk Point Jefferson and Sisseton. So that game kind of ran a little bit behind. And I'm getting news right now. 72-38 is going to be your final. West Central gets the victory. So in the DAC-12 NEC Clash, let's go over it. The 11 seed Redfield Tri-Valley beat Redfield 87-42. In other scores, Elk Point Jefferson beat Sisseton 62-47, the matchup of the 10 seeds. And as we just saw in the matchup of the 9 seed, it was West Central that beat Webster area 72-38. Still over in the auxiliary gym that happened, the 8 seeds, Canton and Dual, and also in the matchup of the 7 seeds, Aberdeen Roncalli will be taking on Madison. In the matchups of the 6th seed that happened at 11 o'clock this morning, it was the T Area Titans that beat Clark Willow Lake 61-35. The matchup of the 5 seeds, and also a matchup of 5 days ago, I should say, Del Rapids beats Millbank again 56-48. Also, the 4 seed Lennox took down Tispazina 76-49. And again, right now here at halftime, 26-15. Vermillion Tanagers, the DAC-12 team, are winning over the NEC, if you will. Again, Parkston not a part of the NEC, but have been filling in now for the past 4 years, a part of this classic. Don't forget, Tanager fans, as well, the Vermillion girls are in action, if you will. Another DAC-12 NEC matchup. That will be happening next week for the Clash, but the Millbank Bulldogs will be taking on the Vermillion Tanagers down there at Mount Marty University in the Sacred Hoops Classic. Cole Larsh will have all the coverage, along with the USD track star himself, Spencer Bewley, will be a part of the broadcast coming up at around 6:30 this evening right here on Live Ticket TV and Vermillion Tanagers Live. All right, Borman, Decker, Bruning, Jadozzi, and Cohn all back out there for the Parkston Trojans. They're starting 5. And, of course, the Tanagers usher out their starting 5 as well. Warwick, Skogsburg, Robinson, Hansen, and Hansen. As the Trojans look to find some offense here, only put up 15 points once again in that first half. And just like that, it's a quick bucket that we see this time for James Decker, who now has 6 points in the ball game, and with it, it draws it under double digits. And quickly a pass to Robinson, almost stolen away, and still has it. Somehow, he finds its way through with the pass on his bum. So Tanagers with 13 seconds on the shot clock. The pesky defense by the Trojans to Roerig. They were cheating on him. That's why you can't. They're playing cheat defense to let Roerig open in the corner, and he hits a 3. We saw Del Rapids do it on Thursday night, and Roerig hit a big 3 in that one as well. Well, let's see if that also doesn't give some confidence to Connor to just keep on pulling the trigger. And if it does happen, that means they're going to have to respect him for the rest of this afternoon. As I say that, Bryson Bruning drives in and scores his first bucket of the ball game. It's 29-19, 6:43 third quarter, and now Carter Hansen is going to drive, but before he makes his move, he travels, and it will give it right back to the Parkston Trojans. So it was a struggle to find some offense, if you will, in that first half, and so far we have seen 3 straight buckets on 4 possessions here in the second half. It's Deckert driving in underneath, wide open to Peyton, and makes this shot, but another man maker taken by Roerig, his second charge that he has taken of the ball game, and the foul will go against James Deckert, picking up his first personal in the first team foul. 29-19, 6:28 third quarter. Inside to Robinson, double teamed. Back out to Skogsburg, catch and shoot 3, leaves it short, and it goes right to Bruning. Once again, Vermillion Tanagers have struggled today from the 3-point line, and now we're going to get a whistle called against Bruning as he's throwing some arms, trying to get some space against Carter Hansen. So Bruning, or no, I apologize. They say he stepped out of bounds, not pick up a foul, which is good for Bruning. Otherwise, that would have been his 3rd personal. I apologize there. Trey Hansen now to Carter in the corner, shoots the 3 off the mark. So Vermillion is now 1 of 3 to start this third quarter from downtown. Bruning, kick out, Decker, catch and shoot three for him. This one is off the mark. Vermillion won the move quick there. No quick outlet pass, but here comes Trey Hansen. Driving, kick out, no look to Rorik, three-pointer, good! Connor Rorik, back-to-back threes on him shooting in this third quarter. He now has all of a sudden 6 points, and that will stop the cheat defense, if you will, on the drive. They're going to have to respect him for the rest of the game. And with that, Bryson Bruning answers back with another drive. He quickly has 4 points in the quarter. 32-21, 5:15 third quarter. To Trey Hansen, he'll shoot the three. This one's off the mark. The Tanagers now 2 of 5 from the three-point line here in this third quarter. Borman picks up his dribble to Deckert. Deckert's going to drive. Put up the little left-hander. This one's short. It goes out of bounds. They say it was last touched by Will Chidozie. Chidozie once again coming in, averaging 19 points so far this season and has been held to 6, something Vermillion is historically good at with Jay Drake defense is shutting down the top scorer on the opposing team. Skogsberg, corner three. This one's off the mark. Quickly the opposite way. Bruning, a 3-on-1 pull-up jumper. This one's off the mark. Again, it was a 3-on-1. Does not take advantage of it. We'll try to get it a full court pass. Took a deflection on its way through. The Trojans have it once again. Work it to the near side. It's Bruning. The dribble in between the legs. Pull-up jumper for him is off the mark. Everyone stared at it for the Vermillion Tanagers, and luckily they come in. Coach Budmeyer gets out of his seat and tells his team to slow down as Jay Drake paces up and down. Hansen boys pass it back and forth to one another. Now to Robinson, over to Skogsberg. Skogsberg drives, tries to use the left hand, and a foul is called. It will be 2 shots as Will Chidozie blocked off the space of Skogsberg, and it will be free throws upcoming. By the way, I did have the off-air conversation with head coach Jay Drake, and Bryson Skogsberg is still down here as he is slow to get up. And of course, Skogsberg is not one who, a very tough family. He's not one that's going to just lay down. In fact, his brother Carter is making his way over the Vermillion bench. Of course, Carter graduated last year as a senior. And not quite for sure what's wrong with Bryson as he remains down here at the moment. It looks like they're taking a look there at his left leg. Again, we've already, in this DAC-12 NEC clash, I've seen one bad knee injury that delayed that Sisseton Elk Point Jefferson game for over a half hour. In fact, they sent the teams back to the locker room at one point. It was a very bad injury. Had to bring the ambulance in, bring a gurney in just to help out the player with a bad knee injury. And now Skogsberg, who continues to remain down just on the drive, and nothing ill intent there by Will Chidozie. Just tried to rise up and maybe get a block there and some contact, and it was Bryson Skogsberg who fell down a little awkwardly. He's still kind of, again, looking at his ankle, a little hesitant. Jay Drake, Lewis Budmeyer, all there along with the athletic trainer from Madison taking a look. Skogsberg has been active in talking this entire time. He hasn't necessarily pointed at anything that was an injury. When it comes to this DAC-12 NEC clash, not to bring up anything else, but there was one other bad injury, if you will. Maybe not bad injury. She literally just found it. They placed it, and she came back. But you may remember Lexi Plitzowhite lost a tooth in this game. And Skogsberg will get up, and he's going to be okay. His brother's going to go help him kind of limp off. Now, a training room with full access to everything is right off the left of us. So they're going to take good care of Bryson Skogsberg and take a look. Vermillion is going to need a free throw shooter, as, again, 2 free throws are upcoming. As they're still looking almost at the hardwood here. Coach Budmeyer is having a conversation there with one of the officials, just a simple conversation, and I believe we're going to have blood. So Again, not for sure if it was a leg injury or if maybe even necessarily a head injury for Bryson Skogsberg, which, of course, you get knocked in the nose there. It can certainly hurt. And, again, he was just kind of slow. He was active, but almost maybe more of an indication of a bloody nose there. Didn't have the quite best angle at it either. But the officials are wiping something up, have brought out chemicals almost as though there was some type of blood on the hardwood. In the end, whoever has to place Skogsberg has to shoot the free throws. Landon Cerny will come in to do that job, so he'll be shooting free throws for the second time this afternoon. He is 1 of 3 now. We'll keep an eye to see if Bryson is able to come back here in this basketball game. Second free throw is off the mark. So reset here, 32-21, halfway through the third quarter. Vermillion is now without one of their starters, of Bryson Skogsberg, the freshman. Which he's been paired up with some of the biggest guys against the Parkston Trojans. So delay there, about 5 minutes is over with. And the Trojans have it here in the front court as they go down underneath to Will Jadozi, and he can't connect right there at the rim. Vermillion is slowing it down as they bring it across the Bulldog logo. It's with Trey Hansen. Bounce pass to Cerny. Over to Carter Hansen. No look over to Rorick. Shoots the three again. This one's off the mark as they go over the backboard. And will go out of bounds. Rorick has already hit 2 threes from that corner here in this quarter. 32-21, 3:25, third quarter. Tanagers have the press on here with Bruning in the backcourt. Chuck it all the way up to Borman as he catches it. Now double team, trying to find his way through, able to find a wide open Decker underneath, and that's good for 2. James Decker, now the leading scorer, if you will, for the Trojans with 8 points here in the ball game. Trey Hansen over to Carter Hansen. Back to Trey. It's back under double digits once again for the Parkston Trojans, 32-23. Connor Rohrig back to Carter Hansen. Rohrig almost lost it, has to get it back. 10 seconds on the shot clock. NBA 3, good! From downtown, Trey Hansen hits his second 3 of the ball game. A timeout is called. We'll step aside. We're back in just a moment here on Live Ticket TV.
Haas Custom Ag Services in Chester is your local family-owned and operated resource for all things ag. Our team specializes in customizing spraying needs for each individual customer and farmland, including 28% or 32% fertilizer and starter fertilizer. Haas also offers farm chemical sales and custom applications from pre-emerge through corn tassel. Call Jeff today, 605-270-0162, to get a custom quote specific to your needs. Haas Custom Ag Services is a proud sponsor of Chester Youth Activity.
Vermillion 3 of 7 here in this third quarter from three-point land as they lead it now by 12, 35-23, 2:39 remaining in this third quarter. The Parkston Trojans keep bringing it back under to double digits to that 9-point mark, but can never get any closer than that as Vermillion has been able to hit shots, but usually Parkston Trojans are able to answer back. We'll see if they can't do so here on this possession as Borman puts up a tough shot. Count it. And 1 opportunity. As the foul will go against Landon Cerny, picking up his first personal. And also the first team foul as Cerny will now have to check out of the ball game. And just for the second time this season getting big varsity minutes, it will be number 21, Trenton Thomas, who will check on. Borman, the and 1 opportunity. He's able to connect, and with that, he has 5 points here in the ball game. And as I mentioned, the Trojans answer back and draw it back to 9 once again. Thomas to Trey Hansen. Has to pick up his dribble, and now we'll go to the backboard and score. Trey Hansen with 12 points here in the game, 5 for the quarter. By the way, Bryson Skogsberg is not back as we take a look to the bench. Bruning, 3-pointer the opposite way, off the mark, and it will go out of bounds. It'll be Vermillion basketball, 37-26, 1:58 remaining here in the third quarter. The DAC-12 so far here in this DAC-12 NEC clash is a perfect 6-0 as the next game happening over in the auxiliary gym is Dual versus Canton. That one, of course, is behind time due to an injury we saw earlier in the auxiliary gym that delayed that action earlier. The drive, shot was blocked. And here come the Trojans, trying to bring it back under double digits. It's Borman. His space was cut off. Now kicks it back out to Bruning. The top with Jervik as the offense will reset. It's Deckert, spin, kick over to Borman. Borman spin, down underneath to Will Jadozi. And Borman probably got away with the spin. Again, that's been called travel quite a bit so far this season. But the outlet pass to Jadozi gives him 8 points as he's able to cash it in. And once again, it's back to 9 for the Parkston Trojans. Trenton Thomas, the catch and shoot 3. This one front of the iron and will fall. Trenton Thomas hits a big three-pointer here in this third quarter. 40-28, 55 seconds remaining in the third quarter. And right like that, it's back up to a 12-point lead. Jervik, catch and shoot 3. This one off the front of the iron, rebounded by Thomas. As again, Thomas, we talked with Coach Budmeyer why he's getting some time. It's all because of the way he's been practicing, and he said it. The coaches evaluate every practice, are always watching, and that's why Thomas has gotten this opportunity to play some valuable varsity minutes. And now a foul that was called. It'll be a shooting foul, 13 foul against the Parkston Trojans. It also comes against Decker, picking up now his second personal. Tweeten will check back into the game, and it will be Rohrig who will check out. Trey Hansen hits the first free throw, giving him now 13 points for the ball game. 27 combined points between the Hansen boys. 41-28, 38.7 remaining third quarter. Second free throw is good. This will also be now the biggest lead for the Vermillion Tanagers of 14 here in the final moments of the third quarter. Jervik from freshman to freshman, Bruning the drive over to the corner, back to the top to the senior Jervik, to his little brother. Now to Peyton underneath, bounce pass to the corner, and the drive by Bruning. No space to the top. Jervik, the big man, shoots and can't connect, and then they're going to say a rebounding foul underneath, and I believe it's going to go against Cole Tweeten. Here we go. Bryson Skogsberg is back. He is back. He looks like a little bit uncomfortable, but he has what looks like bandage around his left forearm, and he's also holding his tailbone. By the way, it was a foul against Cole Tweeten. Loose basketball. It's a turnover. Trey Hansen, pull up 3. Good! Trey Hansen. And then Jervik just whips it down court in frustration as Vermillion goes off in the third quarter from three-point land. Trey Hansen with 10 points in the quarter. Vermillion connects for 4 threes in that quarter and now lead it by 45-28. Again, Bryson Skogsberg is back. We'll see if he checks in this fourth quarter. We're back in 30 seconds here on Live Ticket TV and Madison Streaming.
House Custom Ag.
The foundation for how we do business is right in our initials, W-E. We. Everything we do is a partnership. We understand solving the many complex challenges growers face every day takes teamwork. And when we succeed, we do it together. That's the power of we.
(45-28) as we move to the fourth quarter in a rematch from January 5th. We expected this one to be a close one, but Vermillion is starting to pull away as they were able to hit 4 threes in that third quarter. Whereas on the Parkston Trojans, put up 13 points, a good third quarter for them, but Vermillion just really pulled away as Vermillion was able to put up a good number of 19 points in that quarter. By the way, Bryson Skogsberg is back. He's currently on the court. Again, his forearm has been taped, almost to indicate that he was either cut, and again, he was rubbing his tailbone as well down there on the sidelines when he came back in, almost to indicate. Again, that block by Will Jadozi just made some contact as Bryson Skogsberg rose up and had to be in the trainer's room for a little bit of time, but he's back once again. Cone underneath, puts up his shot, misses, but it's going to be an offensive board. Oh, my goodness. Will Jadozzi just can't get it. 8 points, but he's fouled, and I believe we will see Cole Tweeten probably sit the rest of this ball game, or right now he's going to stay out there. He's picked up 3 personal fouls now in about 4 minutes of action so far here today. Will Jadozzi hits the first free throw. It's the first point of the fourth quarter. He's got 9 for the ball game, 45-29. They're going to keep Tweeten out there. Second free throw, this one is good, as Jadozzi is the first Trojan to hit double figures here in the ball game. Carter Hansen to Trey Hansen. Trey put up 10 in that quarter. His brother also put up 9 in the first. In fact, Carter Hansen did not score in that third quarter. He's still stuck at 14 points. Now over to Trey. He'll shoot the 3. Good again! Trey Hansen back-to-back threes. He's got 20 for the ball game. And it's up to an 18-point lead for the Vermillion Tanagers, with now under 7 remaining here in the ball game. Decker. And that was, you go back to that match at the first time, Vermillion really struggled from downtown, and again, it has been a theme on this 3-game skid for Vermillion is shooting the 3, but today they've been able to hit here in Madison, at least in this second half, if you will. Turnaround jumper for Bruning is good. Bruning with that now has 6 points here in the ball game. The Trojans aren't going to go away quietly into the afternoon. They're going to give a good attempt here. And now the movement by Skogsberg, a simple foul called against Borman, but that will be now his 3rd personal, the first team foul as well. 48-32, 6:26 fourth quarter. And to Robinson, right back to Trey Hansen, the hot hand to Cole Tweeten, then a look to Skogsberg, 3-pointer. This one's off the mark. The big man catches, goes back up, misses, gets back his own rebound, and then he gets knocked over, and it'll be free throws upcoming as Cole Tweeten battled it there in tough. Now, Tweeten does have the size advantage over really anybody else out there, standing in at 6'7" for the Vermillion Tanagers. 48-32, 6-16. By the way, next game here on Madison streaming, as you can watch, it'll be Groton area versus Dakota Valley. That will be the matchup of the 2 seeds, as the first free throw is good for Cole Tweeten. And with that, Vermillion has gotten significant bench points, 5 bench points. And I know you're thinking at home, now 6. That doesn't seem like a whole lot, but for Vermillion, it's usually only their starting 5 that does score. 50-32, 6:08 fourth quarter. Bruning out to Borman. Borman, spin, jumper, shot was blocked, but they say Tweeten made contact with the hand. Cole Tweeten can't believe it, and with that, now I believe he'll be done for the day. That's his 4th. And Rohrig will check back in, as there'll be free throws upcoming for Luke Borman with 5 points here in the ball game. Free throw is up, and this one is good for Luke Borman. He has 6 points now. So Tweeten is out, and Rohrig will check back in. 50-33. Free throw number 2 for Borman. Hits off the heel, but it's going to be an offensive rebound. Peyton Cone goes back up. First bucket for him since the first quarter. He has 5. And again, the Trojans aren't quite done, trailing by 15. Over to Carter Hansen. We'll see if Vermillion doesn't try to start taking some error out of the ball here. Rohrig has it. Still Rohrig. Drive, and this one is off the mark. Quickly the opposite way comes Decker, then he loses, going just too fast. And here comes Vermillion. It's a 3-on-1, and Skogsberg drives in. Bryson Skogsberg, 4 points for him here in the ball game, and now a timeout called. We'll step aside. We're back in just a moment here on Live Ticket TV and Madison Streaming.
The foundation.
Do you have a pest problem? Got bats, ants, termites? Family owned and operated, Olson's Pest Technicians have had over 50 years experience taking care of pest problems in places across South Dakota, Nebraska, and Iowa. Utilizing brilliant methods such as Centricon bait stations for termites and Vicane treatment for bed bugs. There's no pest too tough for Olson's Pest Technicians. If you have pest problems, call 800-KILL-BUGS. Do you have a
Whether you're pregnant or planning ahead, you and your baby deserve a healthy start. We offer a wide range of services such as advocacy, health screenings and education, care coordination and car seat safety, participant empowerment, referral services, and fatherhood support. To learn more about Great Plains Healthy Start, visit greatplainstravelhealth.org or call one of our 5 service areas today. Brought to you by Great Plains Healthy Start, so that the people may live.
52-35. Here in the fourth quarter, 5:25 remaining in the ball game. After the timeout, we're reset and ready to go. Head coach Jay Drake has 2 timeouts remaining. Coach Craig Bruning has 3 timeouts as Luke Boardman shoots a jumper, misses, and here comes Trey Hansen quickly the opposite way off the fast break and uses the left scoop layup. And good. He has 22 for the ball game, the leading scorer for the Vermillion Tanagers, and back up to a 19-point lead, which matches the biggest lead that Vermillion has had here in the ball game. Bruning, pass deflected inside. And it looks like Vermillion is going to slow things down here as the assistant coaches were shouting at the team to slow down. They drive by Skogsberg and took one too many steps as he wanted to make the pass, never did. Again, coming up here, still at the DAC-12 NEC Clash, Dual and Canton are currently in action. And to wrap up the day over in the auxiliary gym, Aberdeen Roncalli will take on Madison. And then here in the main gym, the 2 seed Dakota Valley will take on Groton Area, and also Sioux Falls Christian versus Hamlin, that 1 seed, and a rematch from earlier this season as well as Sioux Falls Christian beat Hamlin. The drive with the left hand, good. It's the first points for Carter Hansen since the first half. Yes, 16 for the ball game. And now we're going to see another timeout here by head coach Craig Bruning as he has an official come up and say a word to him. And I have to believe it was a missed call earlier, which, I mean, I know sometimes people will criticize these refs and say they do a bad job, but the officials will be the first ones to admit when they miss calls and come over and acknowledge it to head coaches that, hey, I missed something, didn't see something, just to get them an explanation. It looked like that was what Craig Bruning got right there, was a simple explanation by the ref of saying, hey, I made a mistake. It happens by everyone. 56-35. Don't forget, Tanager fans, we have Vermillion girls basketball action coming up. A little mini DAC-12 NEC clash, if you will, of their own, as the Vermillion girls will be taking on Millbank at the Sacred Hoops Classic. That will be happening at Mount Marty University. So if you're back home in the Vermillion area, that game coming up at 6:30 or right around that time. I'm not for sure if they're on time there at the Sacred Hoops Classic or not. Have to take a look. But if you want to make your way over to Mount Marty University, I was there this morning. They could probably use a few fans. I bet there was maybe about 30 fans for that Winter Tri-Valley game that was happening. But certainly going to be a good one for the Vermillion Tanagers as they look to try to improve to 9-3 on the season. Millbank coming in that matchup 9-4 for them on the season. 56-35. Cole Larsh and the Spencer Bewley USD athlete will have you covered for all the action coming up later on, as I might make an appearance. We'll see if I can make my way back home in that area. And a whistle called inside the lane that will go against Peyton. Peyton and the Trojans will now pick up. Peyton will be for his first personal and the third team foul against the Parkston Trojans. Simple foul, back into action. Robinson catch and shoot 3, and this one an air ball. This one's going to go out of bounds. Robinson has been quiet so far tonight. Only 2 points for him here in the ball game, and scored those 2 points. And now Roehrig is going to come out, and with 3:53 and a 21-point lead, you have to believe that's going to be the final action for Roehrig. So he'll finish with 2 made corner threes that really started to get the offense going in that third quarter for the Vermillion Tanagers. 3-pointer the opposite way, good for Luke Boardman. Boardman now with 9 points here in the ball game. 1 point off from hitting 10. Robinson, jab step. They'll pass it around. Can have to believe Vermillion wants to just take the air out of the ball here. Oh, they're going to quickly shoot another 3. There was 20 left on this shot clock, and it's going to go out of bounds. 56-38, 3:19, fourth quarter. As the famous saying goes, it's not over till the fat lady sings. But the Trojans are going to need quite a bit of points here in the final 3:15. Bruning, the jumper. This one's off the mark. Ball being tipped around, still tipped around. Offensive board for Bruning in the end. As they kick it off to Young Jervik, over to Peyton, catch and shoot three for him. This one air ball. Ball goes out of bounds as Young Jervik fought for it underneath, and it will go out of bounds, and it will be Tanager basketball. Exactly 3 minutes left to go in the fourth quarter. Again, this is a rematch back on January 5th where Vermillion got a 59-51 victory. Late fouls in that game and free throws for the Vermillion Tanagers helped them pull away. But for today, it was just, well, maybe the offense wasn't quite clicking for the Trojans, as they're not going to drop two straight against two DAC-12 opponents. They lost to Lennox on Thursday evening. Lennox went off for 84 points. Reach-in foul against Bruning, as Bruning, coach's son, will pick up his third personal in the fourth team foul. So next one will give bonus to the Vermillion Tanagers down the stretch. Head coach Jay Drake hasn't quite called off the Dogs yet, as Skogsburg is going to check out. Cole Tweeten and Trenton Thomas are out there. And now it looks like head coach Craig Bruning is going to start to pull out his stars. Luke Borman comes out. He has finished with 9 points in the ball game. Inbound, and Vermillion's just going to hold on to it. As just checking in a moment ago, that was Rico who came into the ball game for the Parkston Trojans, and Elliot Leichner will check in here in just a moment. Yep, here they come. Grady Bauer will also come into the ball game as well for the Parkston Trojans, as the Trojans are going to put the wraps on it. Roofers is going to check in for the Vermillion Tanagers. Also for Vermillion, Gabe Larson will come in here at the next dead ball. Jumper, this one is off the mark. Tip back out. Robinson's going to go back up with it instead of going back out with it to just work more of the clock. A foul that's going to go against Will Jadozzi. It also gives bonus to Vermillion Tanager, so they'll be shooting free throws down the stretch. Also checking in, Wyatt Morse, the senior for the Vermillion Tanagers, will be coming in. Free throw number one is off the mark for Robinson. So with these substitutions, the starters are coming out. Bryson Skogsburg came out a little bit ago. He finished with 4 points. Robinson, as I mentioned, still out there, could finish with 3 points. He will finish with 3 points. He's going to make this next free throw. Trey Hansen finishes with 22 in the ball game, and Carter Hansen finishes with 16. And Roofers will take the spot of Robinson here in just a moment. Told you he'd make the free throw. He finishes with 3 points here in the ball game. Also, Landon Cerny finishes with a point. Cole Tweeten finishes with 2. 57-38. As we'll get you the final scores here as well for the Parkston Trojans. The drive, kick out, three-pointer. This one is off the mark for Young Jervik. Saved by Tanagers before it goes out of bounds, as Roofers will have it here in the final 100 seconds of this basketball game, as the DAC-12 is going to move to 7-0 in this DAC-12 NEC Clash. Three-pointer is off the mark for Thomas. 90 seconds remaining, and we'll see our final two substitutions as Riley Cook will check in to the ball game. And also, I missed one more. It's Connor Prutney will check in to the ball game for the Parkston Trojans. 57-38. 120 remaining here in the ball game. Pull-up jumper. This one is off the mark and rebounded. Of course, no JV game for this DAC-12 NEC Clash. So these guys who dressed get the opportunity to play, which they're going to be happy about that. We'll get you, the starters coming up in our post-game show for final scoring for the Parkston Trojans and for the Vermillion Tanagers. We'll run down the full scoring and also see if we can't catch up with one of the coaches for the Vermillion Tanagers. I believe Coach Bud Meyer will join us once again. By the way, Vermillion is going to end a 3-game skid, as Trenton Thomas is now going to come out and make way for Preister as he comes into the ball game. 57-38. Control with Gabe Larson with 2 seconds. Turnaround jumper leaves it short, and ball is going to go out of bounds, and it will give it to the Parkston Trojans. Again, don't forget the Vermillion girls are in action coming up at 6:30 tonight right here on Vermillion Tanagers Live. Also want to say a big thank you once again to Al and Madison here being a part of not only Madison streaming, but also the hospitality up here in the media room. We really appreciate everything that he provides, not only during the DAC-12 NEC Clash, but also throughout the seasons as well for the Madison Bulldogs when they play against the Vermillion Tanagers. So thank you, Al, for everything you do and helping us out here. And again, thank you as well to Madison once again putting on the DAC-12 NEC Clash. It's going to be final as Vermillion gets the win in this rematch, this time in convincing fashion. 57-38, and it was a pull away there in the third quarter for the Vermillion Tanagers as they were able to start hitting threes, and in the fourth quarter never looked back as Vermillion will now move to 8-4 on the season, and the Parkston Trojans drop to 9-4. We're going to step aside. Our post-game show is on the way next here on Live Ticket TV. Advertising can be a struggle. Where to spend your money? Are you reaching the right audience? If you are looking for an effective method that reaches a large fan base at once, then here is your spot with Live Ticket TV. With over 65 schools in the state of South Dakota, we can help you find the right market. Plus, you can work with me, Heath, and a portion of all sales made go right back to the school. Get a hold of me today and let's get started in helping build your brand with Live Ticket TV.
Classic Corner Convenience Store in Madison is ready to fuel you and your vehicle up before the big game. Stop in for hot stuff and other high-quality foods and their highest quality service. At Classic Corner, they pride themselves on their commitment to the local communities that support them. They offer free delivery, and each month they pick a charity to help raise donations. Stop in today for a tasty meal and a smile. Classic Corner Convenience Store is a proud sponsor of Madison area youth athletics and activities.
Every farm is unique, but all farmers have something in common: the desire to maximize their land and improve it for the next generation. You need a cooperative that offers peace of mind. AgTegra Cooperative is an ag partner that shares your values and is part of your community. From agronomy and grain operations to energy and feed, AgTegra will link your farm to the future. AgTegra Cooperative. Strong, stable, dependable. Every farm is
This is what matters. This is beyond X's and O's. This is the difference mutual respect makes. This is what character looks like. This is what defines us in South Dakota. This is sportsmanship. School sports, it's not the outcome that matters most, but the way the games are played. This message presented by the South Dakota High School Activities Association and the South Dakota Interscholastic Athletic Administrators Association.
In times like these, it's good to know there's a place where people know who you are, no matter how long you've been gone. A place where the smells of home cooking are still in the air, where a simple wave warms your heart, and sharing stories is just a way of life. It's good to be home. Agraria Insurance Company, protecting what's important in life. Contact your local Agraria Insurance Company agent.
Vermillion improves to 6-1 in the DAC-12 NEC Clash as they get the win today in a rematch over the Parkston Trojans. The final score 57-38 for Vermillion. It was all about getting this win, of course, in a rematch, but also ending a 3-game losing stretch for the Vermillion Tanagers that started dating back to last week, losing against number 1 Sioux Falls Christian, number 5 Pine Ridge, and then that tough overtime loss to Del Rapids this past Thursday. But they're finally back in the win column once again, improving to 8-4 overall. And once again, it's the Hanson boys that come up big for the Vermillion Tanagers as the Tanagers finish with 2 in double figures. Let's go over our final game numbers. We'll begin with the Parkston Trojans as it's only one who will finish in double figures. Will Jadozi, who is averaging 19 points coming into this matchup a game, finishes with just 10 points. Luke Borman finishes with 9 points this evening. 8 points for James Decker. 6 points for Bryson Bruning, all coming in the second half. And Peyton Cohn scores 5 points. In fact, for the Parkston Trojans, they did not have any bench points. It was all the starters that come away in scoring for the Parkston Trojans, again, who dropped to 9-4 overall, but still remain perfect within their region and have a good chance at finishing with the number 1 seed within Region 5 for, again, the Parkston Trojans. For the Vermillion Tanagers, as we said, 2 in double figures. Trey Hansen had just 7 at halftime, but goes off for 15 in the second half and finishes with 22 points. Carter Hansen, who had 14 at halftime, scores just 2 points in the second half. He finishes with 16. And again, the Hansen boys combined for 38 out of the 57 for the Vermillion Tanagers. Next leading scorer was actually Connor Rorick. He finished with 6 points, 2 made 3-pointers in the third quarter. Bryson Skogsberg, even through an injury, finishes with 4 points. Zone Robinson with 3 points, 2 points for Cole Tweeton, and also a point for Landon Cerny. And, of course, can't forget about Trenton Thomas. He hit a 3-pointer as well in the ballgame. In fact, for the Vermillion Tanagers, it's not often we say this, but had 6 bench points, which again does not seem like a whole lot for them so far this season, but they're able to have a good performance and a good win for the Vermillion Tanagers as they get the victory here this afternoon over the Parkston Trojans. Let's continue on here on the postgame show. Sorry, Coach Bud Meyer, let me adjust you, everything like that. Okay, there you go. I got the headset on. I apologize.
We're ready to roll.
We're ready to roll. First off, how does it feel to win again?
That was a great team win. I just told the guys in the locker room, even if shots weren't falling, everybody filled their role today. We loved it on the defensive end. Got back to us. We played like us.
First thing that comes out to my mind, 6 points off the bench, which doesn't seem like a lot, but we have Skogsberg that goes down to an injury, and it seemed like the bench was flowing today with substitutions. What do you think about the bench play and providing huge minutes in this type of matchup?
Yeah, absolutely. That's like team win. Everybody who came in when their number was called, they filled their role well. I thought Cole Tweeton had a good night tonight. Just using his height, getting boards, and just walling them up. Make him finish over the top of you. We preach that to him every day. He had a really good rebound and put back down here. Didn't fall, but then he fought back, got it again, went to the free throw line. He did all the little things. Trent Thomas, we talked about last game. Confident kid, came in, got a look, let her rip, and it went down this time. So everybody top to bottom, great team win.
Well, we look at throughout this game as well, the rematch as well, right? We talk about this. It was a close one. It was a physical one. Was it the 3-point shots, or was it just the opportunities that Parkston maybe gave defensively that really worked out for the squad today to get a much bigger win against the Trojans?
I think it all goes back to our defense. Jadozi, really tough kid. He killed us on the glass and putbacks and stuff. We neutralized them on the glass on defensive end. We finished possessions, held them to one shot, and that's where we let them stay in the game when we were at Parkston. Offensively, we just flowed really well. Kudos to Coach Bruning. When he went to that 2-3 zone, it lulled us. It slowed up the pace, made us think. When they were just in man, we were getting up and down. We were just flowing, so kudos to him for making that call and slowed down the game. But overall, I think it always just comes back to the defensive end. Our defense led to offense.
Chirping throughout the ball game between the two brothers, I think there's always is a little bit of chirping. They combine for 38. In the end, Trey Hansen goes off for 22. Carter Hansen, 16. What's it like having that brother dynamic out there on the hardwood?
I love it. And they're competitive. They're competitive brothers. I think it adds to our team, too, to have that dynamic when getting chippy sometimes as a teammate, that's a part of it. That shows that you're a competitor. We don't want to just kind of give everybody like, oh, good job, slap on the back sometimes. Hold each other accountable, and those two sure do hold each other accountable. They'll let each other know, but it adds a dynamic to our team that adds to our mentality and just the physicality and toughness we want to play with every night. Well,
can't forget asking the question. I know you can't probably say a whole lot on it, but Bryson Skogsberg, can we speak any on the injury? Is he okay?
Yeah, I think he'll be fine. He actually did this kind of preseason too, just an awkward landing, kind of on the tailbone region, maybe the SI, like in the back. Mostly a bruise, but he's a tough-nosed kid, and as you saw, he battled back and wanted to get back out. He was begging the trainer down there. He let the kid go.
We get a victory, move to 8-4 on the season. Now have Madison quickly back. I mean, we really don't Sundays we're not supposed to practice. We'll have a walkthrough,
Yep.
if you will. Then all of a sudden it's a game once again against Madison. How quick of a turnaround does this need to be for the guys to be ready, and what should we expect from a tough Bulldogs team?
One thing that worked out well with Coach Bruning going that 2-3 zone, we expect, like we've watched film, we already had them filmed up, ready to go for because this is a postponement game. So scout-wise, we kind of know what they are. We've been watching them. They had a lot of common opponents, so we've watched Madison a lot. They're going to probably sit in the 2-3 zone, the same thing. They got some length. They got some kids that have been playing really hot, playing really well. So we just got to be ready to go and get back, keep playing like our game. Keep battling, defensive end, take care of it.
Now, do you still live in Yankton?
Nope, I'm back. I'm in Verm now.
Okay, you're in Vermillion now. So, okay, roughly about an hour and a half then for you, or maybe even 2 hours, let's say at the most. So 7 o'clock. What's the rest of the night look like now?
My girlfriend's here, and her parents actually live in Sioux Falls, so we're going to stay and watch this game because we got Groton and DV as the next two after Madison. Might stay for that Sioux Falls Christian Hamlin game too, because man, this is the pinnacle of South Dakota basketball with these next four teams, and it's something we're striving for. I hope we're going to stay the first half with the kids just to watch, and this is where we want to be, fellas. We want to be playing the main event game for the DAC-12 clash and stuff like that. It's good to learn from. Four heavyweights kind of going at it tonight, and I love it.
Should be exciting. Well, hey, you enjoy some basketball, all right?
Absolutely. Thank you.
There he is, Coach Budmeyer here on our postgame show as Vermillion gets the victory tonight, or I should say this afternoon, even if you will, over the Parkston Trojans 57-38. And Coach Budmeyer brings up an interesting point as well. Get to that pinnacle game, the main feature. You may remember a few years ago when Vermillion went undefeated all the way to the state tournament. They did not actually get the number 1 seed at that time of this DAC-12 NEC clash. They came in as the number 2 seed behind Dakota Valley. It was kind of that controversy, if you will, of is Vermillion good enough? And as we know, a week later, those two teams met up in Vermillion. Vermillion Tanagers eventually got the win. You know how it goes. But again, victory today for Vermillion boys, 57-38. Big thank you to Ryan helping us out produce. That's going to wrap it up for us, at least on the boys' side. Once again, coming up in less than 2 hours' time at 6:30, Cole Larch and Spencer Bewley will have you set from Yankton at Mount Marty University for the Sacred Hoops Classic as Vermillion will take on Millbank. That game, again, coming up at 6:30, so make sure you tune into that. Otherwise, have yourself a wonderful rest of your afternoon.